Hello, you absolute legends. It has been a little while. I haven't recorded content in about a week. I've been busy doing some stuff behind the scenes, some business stuff. It's all very technical, not that fun, but I am back. I wanted to record a little video and answer some of your comments, give some of you guys some love, do a little bit of free coaching and all of that. And if you guys haven't noticed, I have brought back the old lighting that I had. You can see on this side, my face is kind of red. On this side, it's kind of blue. I got some little lights behind me. We're going to get a little fancy. Let's answer some of your questions. This guy rules 2807 says, in my 30s and I just broke up with a girl in her early 20s. It was a fun ride, but I'm not sure if it's more me. Maybe she was just a crazy and there are more fulfilling younger women out there, but that experience left me drained and also my wallet. I'm an average guy with an average job who landed a former runway model. I see it as an experience to grow, and lately I have been developing a thing more for single mums that I am meeting on Feld, which is a dating app mostly for like fetish and kink and like sex. It's a lot more of a sex positive app. I like where they are at mentally. Yeah, and this was on a video I did called You're Not a Creep for Liking Younger Women. And I said, if you like younger women, 18 to 25, you're very welcome to date them as long as you're honest and you're upfront and all of that. And I want to have sort of a general discussion here that I am never going to tell any of you who you should or shouldn't date. I'm never going to tell you what ages to date. I'm never going to tell you what genders to date. I'm never going to tell you what type of person to date. There are a lot of very opinionated people on the internet. I don't know if you guys know that. I don't know if you motherfuckers have noticed, but there are a lot of very strong opinions and a lot of opinionated people on the internet. Maybe you guys didn't know that, but that's true. And a lot of people will tell you who you should date and who you shouldn't date, and you should date this age range. No, you got to date this age range. No, you have to date this type of woman. No, you have to date this type of woman or this type of guy. No, and they'll be very opinionated. Guys, at the end of the day, you are here for you. And I, Andy, am simply a vehicle or a vessel for you to have some advice, some wisdom, some encouragement, some motivation, a bit of love on your journey. I am literally here to facilitate your greatness. I am not here for you to be a carbon copy of me. I am not here to tell you how to live your life or what you should do. In fact, if you search on my channel for the word rules, I did a 3-part series called I Broke All the Rules and it made me a success. Here's part 1, here's part 2, here's part 3. In those videos, I literally talked about there are no rules. People will tell you that there's rules and tell you there are things you should do and this is the way you should live your life and you must do this and you're a pussy if you don't do this and all of that. But at the end of the day, you are the one that goes home at night and lays your head down on the pillow in your bed, and you are the one who has to be happy with those decisions that you made that day. You are the one who looks in the mirror and you either like or you dislike the reflection that stares back at you. That has nothing to do with me. How the fuck could I ever tell you how to live your life? I am not you. You are in the driver's seat, not me. If you guys ever ask me for advice, I will always try and give it, but I will always start with the question of like, what do you want? What is meaningful to you? What are your principles? What makes you happy? What kind of impact do you want to leave on the world? Do you want to leave this world? Do you want to leave this world better than you found it? For all of you, I assume the answer is yes. How do you want to leave it better than you found it? What impact do you want to have on your friends and your family and society at large? What kind of life do you want to live? What kind of man or woman or person do you want to be? Like, I'm going to ask you guys those questions and then I will facilitate that for you. In other words, I call myself the facilitator. You tell me what you want and I facilitate that. That's how I run my bedroom as well. That's what I do in the bedroom with sex and kink and BDSM. I literally say to women, what kind of, or I say, when you think of BDSM and kink and sex, what comes to mind for you? What is your ultimate fantasy? What things turn you on? And then I facilitate that experience for that person. So yes, I love, you leaving this comment here, this guy rules. I love that you're figuring out what you want, man. I guess you tried one younger woman. You've tried one younger woman. You felt like it wasn't really for you. Now you're going to go and experience some older women and see what that feels like. That's beautiful, man. I say this with relationship dynamics too. Don't just copy what I do. I am someone that's non-monogamous, so I date multiple people. I do that very honestly and ethically. And I like to have more than one partner at a time. I like to explore threesomes with those partners and introduce them to each other. I am very happy for those dynamics to change over time. Like maybe I start out dating someone relatively casually and then we grow into something serious, or maybe we become friends. Like I'm very fluid with how I like my relationships and my friendships and all of that. I don't have any expectations, or I don't put any pressure on people that they have to be my soulmate or something, right? That's how I like to do things. But a lot of you might hear that and be like, fuck that. I want a wife and kids. Beautiful. Don't sit here and just go, don't sit there and watch what I'm doing and then think I have to copy Andy and be a carbon copy. Again, I know there's a lot of opinionated people on the internet and they will tell you that you're a bad person if you don't do things the way that they like to do it. They'll tell you that you're a pussy or you're a loser or you're screwing up or you're making a mistake. No. Figure out what kind of person you want to be, what kind of impact you want to have on the world, as you leave it, what kind of friends you want, what kind of dynamics you want in your relationships, what kind of job you want, what kind of principles and philosophies are important to you. Figure out who you want to be and your purpose and your meaning and all of that. Figure that stuff out. And then from there, you can figure out how to get there. I have, by the way, a video on all of this. If you're struggling to really find your purpose or your meaning or what you want, go check out this video. Just search my channel for success or pillars. It's called the 7 Pillars of Success. And I literally talk about the 7 main areas of people's life, the 7 main areas of life that people seem to really care about. And in this video, I specifically say, don't just copy what I've done. Like, here's how to figure out how you care about those 7 pillars. So here are the 7 pillars. Well, the 7 main areas of success or life that people care about: friendships and social, meaning and purpose, sex and relationships, money and financial stability, fitness and health, hobbies and fun, mental health and happiness, or you might call that last one peace. Those are the main areas of life that most people care about. And you might not care about all of those areas, but this video, again, it's called the 7 Pillars of Success, the ultimate guide to being successful. This will get you to start thinking about who you want to be, what areas of life you care about, what principles and philosophies you care about. And then from there, you will be able to go out and be your own man or your own woman. All right, next question. And did you notice? Now this side of my face is green and this side of my face is slightly yellow. Oh my goodness, how has he done that? Magic. Devon says, I have severe anxiety talking to women. That's called being a normal human being, my friend. I'm a good-looking guy. I get attention from hot women as well, but I can't capitalize on shit. Not with that attitude. I'm 25 years old with pretty much no experience. My inexperience is breeding more pussy behavior. What did I just say about attitude? How can I change things up? So, my beautiful, wonderful friend, stop being a fucking cunt to yourself. And I say that with love, and I hope that slapped some sense into you and shocked you a little bit. You are being a raging, absolute lunatic to yourself with the way that you talk to yourself. And that is okay, man. That is how a lot of men, a lot of people talk to themselves. But would you speak like this to your best friend? Would you speak like this to another man? Would you say, hey, dude, you can't capitalize on shit. You're a pussy. Is that how you talk to your best friend? Probably not, because he would slap you and tell you to go fuck yourself. And so when we treat ourselves with disdain, with contempt, and with malice, which is what you're doing here, and you call yourself a pussy, I have pussy behavior. I can't capitalize on shit. When you talk like that to yourself, does that inspire you? Does it make you feel confident to call yourself unconfident? Does it make you feel like a masculine man to call yourself a pussy? No, that is the definition of bullying. And bullying is a pretty ineffective way at getting someone to do the thing that you want. There is something called operant conditioning, which is the field of psychology where they study what is more effective of how to get someone to do something. Giving them lots of praise and encouraging them, or that's called positive reinforcement, or negative reinforcement, where you call them a pussy and say you're not confident and you suck and you can't capitalize on shit. And this probably goes without saying, and yet most human beings don't know this. A lot of teachers in schools don't know this. A lot of parents don't know this. When you negatively talk to someone and you have very negative talk and you call them a pussy, or you say they can't capitalize on shit, when you speak like that, you reinforce that. You literally make yourself more of a pussy. Not that you're a pussy, but you think you are. You literally make yourself more of a, quote, pussy when you call yourself a pussy. You make it harder to capitalize on things when you say, I can't capitalize on shit. Because the person who's a pussy and who can't capitalize on shit, how's that person going to be confident? That literally isn't a confident person. You've literally said, I'm a pussy. I'm not confident. Yes, so then you won't be confident. However, if you go the opposite and say, you know what? I can capitalize on some stuff. There are some things I've done in my life that were very brave and courageous. Can I just practice being a little bit more brave and a little bit more courageous? There are some things in my life or some parts of me that are very masculine and confident and brave and amazing and worth celebrating. How can I do more of that? How can I be more of that? Because everything you've written here in your comment, my friend, is called playing not to lose. I guess in your case, you're playing to lose. You're like, I'm a pussy. I can't capitalize on anything. You're talking about what you don't want. You're talking about the negatives. But aren't we here to win? Aren't we here to play to win? So focus on the things you want. Instead of saying, how do I be less of a pussy? How do I stop being unable to capitalize on things? No, talk about the things you want. How do I be more confident? How do I build some confidence? How do I build some self-love? Because you could definitely use a big dose of that, my friend. How do I work on being able to go outside and talk to women? How do I work on being able to capitalize on that attention that I'm getting from girls? How can I work on just saying a little bit to them like, hey, I'd love to take you out for a drink. How can I work on practicing that? How can I go for the thing I want? I talk about all of this in my video course, Play to Win. It's like $30. You can grab a copy of it here. If you can't afford that, send me an email and I will send you a copy for whatever you can pay. You can pay me $2 if you want to, or $1. But grab a copy of this. I have a chapter in there that is very relevant. This chapter here called Play to Win instead of playing not to lose. You right now are playing not to lose, or you're playing to lose. You're like, I'm a pussy. I suck and I can't talk to girls. That's not going to help you talk to girls. We're here to play to win. We're here to focus on the positives. We're here to focus on the things we want. And in your case, my friend, what you want is to go out there and capitalize on your opportunities. You want to be able to talk to the hot women, or I guess any women. You want to be able to get a little bit more experience. And you want to be more confident and courageous. But all you've written is, I'm a pussy. I can't capitalize on shit. I have no experience. I have anxiety. I can't capitalize on my opportunities. All you've talked about is the problems. Focus on solutions. There's even a chapter in this Play to Win video course on that. This chapter, every problem has a solution. And there's another chapter in here. Growth mindset versus fixed mindset. This is very relevant to you. You are literally saying, I'm stuck. I'm fixed. Yeah, I'm not good with women and I'm stuck in that. No, we have a growth mindset, bro. We focus on solutions. We find little baby steps that we can take to move us towards the person or the people that we want to be. We have a growth mindset. We work on solutions. We don't focus on problems, which is what you've done in your comment. And that's okay. That's what most people do. All you've written here is the problems. All you've written is the negatives. Focus on solutions, tiny little baby steps, and focus on the thing you want. How can I be a bit more confident? How can I be kinder to myself? How can I believe in myself a little bit more? And how can I start capitalizing on some of the opportunities that I'm getting from women? There is another chapter in the video course that's very relevant to you, overcoming fear, limiting beliefs, and self-doubt. That's very relevant to you. This one as well, failure, setback, and stress, how to become resilient. And then maybe the most relevant chapter of all, everything is a story and you're in control of the stories that you tell. If you tell a story that you're a pussy and you have pussy behavior and you can't capitalize on anything, and you can't do shit, and you have severe social anxiety, and you can't do it, then yeah, that's going to become true. If you tell a story, you know what, I am masculine, and I am courageous, I'm just working on being a little bit more of those things. I'm working on being a little bit more brave when it comes to women. I'm working on getting a little bit more experience, but I'm already doing a decent job. Let me just improve it. You feel a lot better. You feel a lot more confident. You feel a lot more courageous. You feel like going out and taking action. And so the stories that we tell have such an impact on the action that we take. And if you tell this story, that you've been telling here of, I'm a pussy and I can't capitalize on shit and what's wrong with me and I have anxiety and fuck. If you tell that story, it's not very motivating, is it? This is a pretty dog shit story. Like, this story doesn't help you. And it's okay that you're telling it. This is the story that most people tell about themselves. Most people have pretty fucking low self-esteem. And that's okay. That just makes you human. You're not special. You're not any different from most humans. but this story doesn't really help you. So we're going to tell a more positive story that you're a man who's doing his best, that you have some anxiety, but you're working on overcoming that you're a good looking guy who gets lots of attention. And that's something to be grateful for, man. That's beautiful. And all you need to do is just figure out a little bit of how you can capitalize on these opportunities. Just change a few little things. Just say one sentence out of your mouth hole. Hey, I'd love to take you out for a drink sometime. Can I get your phone number? That's it. Just fucking blurt that out. You might be awkward. You might stumble your words. You might sound like an idiot. That's okay. You did your best. You know, you're saying I have no experience. You have some experience. You've gotten some attention from women. That's experience, brother. You're just calling that no experience. You might say I have no sexual experience. Okay, cool, fine. Get some sexual experience, but you have some experience with women. You have met a woman before in your life. Then you have some experience, and we're working on giving you more experience. You say I have pussy behavior. No. Write out a list of 5, like here's your homework, right? Your first homework is to buy the fucking Play to Win video course and read it and do all the exercises in it. Your second bit of homework is to write down 5 reasons why you're actually pretty courageous and confident already, and we're just working on building more of that. So you say, how do I change things up? You don't need to change up anything other than the stories that you're telling about yourself. In other words, I would change your attitude or your mindset. That is the thing that is going to bring you the most improvements right now. And then from there, I would just start saying little baby steps of like, hey, I'd love to take you out for a drink. If you're getting attention from women, you're not far from going on dates. You just say, hey, can I grab a drink with you sometime? What's your number? That's it. You get her phone number. You say, hey, thanks for the phone number. Are you free on Friday at 5 p.m.? I'd love to grab that drink. And then if you're really nervous and really inexperienced and really terrified, you just say, hey, I'm nervous. I'm really excited to meet you, but I'm super nervous. And then you just take your time with dating and you'll suck at the start. You give yourself permission to suck. That's okay. You go on some dates and you eventually open up more and more and you become more confident and then you get decent at this. It's just practice. But I would change the mindset or the attitude. The way you speak to yourself right now is holding you back massively. So again, I would grab a copy of my Play to Win video course, dude. There is a link down below. I really freaking recommend you get this. If you want some more help with this, man, like, you're definitely the person who would benefit from more help with this mindset that you have. There's a couple of options of coaching down the bottom. I haven't even mentioned this. I'm offering those $200 coaching calls that I used to do or that I do sometimes from time to time. I'm offering them right now. They're one per person. So you can only have one of those because they're at a massive, insane freaking discount. And there's also down below our coaching program called the Abundance Collective, which is $200 a month. I really recommend you get some help, man. Like, I would not be working on this together, like by yourself. I'd be working on this together with other people. Your mindset could definitely use some improvement. But again, good job sharing this, man. Like, good job being brave enough to post this on the internet. Massive props to you, dude. Let's just like change the attitude and change the mindset and be a little bit more positive, man. And then you'll find that you want to go and take more action. The person who calls himself a pussy finds it really hard to take action. But the person who's nice to himself and says, you know what? I'm kind of courageous. I'm just going to work on doing that more. That person finds it so much easier to take some action, man. So yeah, if you want help, there's like links down below. We can get some help from me or from my coaching programs. I wouldn't be doing this alone, dude. What's this? The colors on Andy's face have changed again. What is this? Witchcraft. K215 type says, I loved this. And this was on a video that I did with one of my past coaching clients where he talked about a lot of the sort of rules that he had with dating, that the red pill and sort of masculine self-improvement channels and groups had given him, and how he was able to let a lot of that go through the coaching with us and move a little bit more towards honesty and treating women like they're on the same team rather than seeing them as the enemy. So this comment says, loved this. I really resonated with what you said about playing on defense and viewing dating as a chess game. Yes, that's how a lot of people see dating. They see it as this chess game where you're trying to beat the other person before they beat you. And you're trying to play games. You're trying to keep your cards close to your chest. Like, you don't want the other person to find out what you're trying to do. So many guys hide the fact that they want to sleep with a woman, which is hilarious because the most inefficient strategy you could ever do for something is pretend you don't want it. That's a really dog shit strategy. And it's the strategy that most people use for dating. Women do the same shit. Like, women who are trying to get something will often pretend they don't want it. Like, if they want a relationship, they'll try and extract that from the guy and like push him into it without just being upfront and honest and being like, hey, by the way, I want a relationship. Is that something you want? Yes or no? And then that guy would say, I don't know. And then she'd go, cool, I'm going to move on and talk to the next person. Like, it's so much more efficient to just be upfront and honest and not treat dating as a chess game or a boxing match or like this thing where you're trying to fuck with the other person and get what you want before they get what they want. Like, it doesn't have to be this war. Dating is allowed to be this beautiful thing where you go out there and be honest and upfront and say, this is what I want. Do you want the same thing? And she's like, no thanks, or I'm not sure, or maybe. And you go, okay, next. You move on to the next person and you say, hi, here's what I want. Do you want the same thing? Kind of, maybe, I don't know. Okay, next person, here's what I want. Do you want the same thing? She's like, oh my fucking God, yes, I want that. That would be a dream. Are you kidding me? That's exactly what I want. And you go, bingo, boom, I found the person. Cool, let's build something together. And then you're collaborating as two teammates instead of two opponents in a chess game or two opponents in a boxing match. So he goes on to say, through my time learning about game and seduction, and if you don't know what game and seduction and pickup artists and all of that are, a lot of the time they do view dating as a chess game. Not all of them and not all the time, but a lot of the time they view it as a chess game or a boxing match, or like women are your opponent and you're trying to best them. You're trying to beat them. He goes on to say, I grew to view it as a chess game, as well as the fact that I was hurt by women and then I hurt women as well. Yeah, how many fucking people in dating hurt each other because they're like, well, they hurt me, so I may as well fuck all them over. I even went through a period like that myself, where I literally tried to hurt women because I was like, well, women had hurt me in the past, and someone pulled me aside. I'm so grateful for this guy. It was on an old forum that I was on called the Good Looking Loser Forums. One of the guys in there replied and said, why are you punishing innocent women for the mistakes of other women? And I was like, nah, bro, like I'm getting one up over women, bro. Like women have hurt men for long enough and it's time we get back and even the score. And he was like, this woman that you're punishing right now, this innocent woman that's in front of you, you're punishing her because a few other women in the past hurt you. That's fucked up. She's innocent and you're punishing her because she belongs to the same gender as someone else who hurt you. That's like racism. It's sexism, obviously, but like that's like racist. That's like profiling. That's fucked. That's insane. And again, at first I was like, bro, like it's not that serious, bro. Women have hurt me, so I got to hurt them back. And he's like, this is fucked, man. I'm not going to support you in this. And I went away and thought about it for a week or two, and I was like, God damn it. I'm so glad he said that. He's right. So we don't have to hurt other people just because we've been hurt by other people. So you go on to say, I've noticed that I'm not playing to win because I'm afraid that I'll hurt women again. Yeah, and as long as you're going out there and trying to do right and trying to be honest and trying to be upfront and trying to be kind, if you do accidentally hurt someone, that's okay. Like you were trying your best. So I wouldn't sit there and be terrified of hurting people. I would go towards the thing that you want, which is to leave people better than you found them. You know, there's a Mother Teresa quote I love that's very relevant to this. Spread love wherever you go. Let nobody come to you without leaving a little bit better off. Imagine if you live your dating life that way. You're going to say, I know that I need to show myself that I'm not that kind of guy. You don't need to do anything, my friend. You're allowed to show yourself that you're not that kind of guy, or phrase that in the positive. You're allowed to show yourself the kind of guy that you are. You're kind, you're empathetic, you're compassionate. You clearly care about other people. Otherwise, you literally wouldn't be having this conversation. And so you're already that person. You're just practicing doing that a little bit more. You say, but hearing you guys say that was really validating, as in everything we said before. Makes me feel that I can do this. Of course you can. And I'm growing and learning into making tough decisions. They don't have to be tough decisions. When we label something as a tough decision, then it feels tough. But when we label something as an easy decision or a peaceful decision or an effortless decision, then it's effortless. And so I'm a big fan of not calling things tough decisions or going, it's really hard to do this. It's like, it'll be hard now because you called it hard. But if you say, this is going to be easy, this is going to be a piece of cake, I got this. I'm already an empathetic, kind person, and I can be honest and upfront. I got this. If this bald fucking ginger retard on the internet called Andy Wells can do it, I can too. Yeah, this should be pretty easy. Then guess what? It'll be pretty damn easy. And so be cautious, or maybe not cautious, but be aware of the fact that the language you use is almost like you're casting a magic spell. Like this is Harry Potter and you're like, Lemgardium Leviosa. And if you say something is hard, then it will become hard. Or you will treat it as if it's hard. If you call something a tough decision, then it will feel like a tough decision. But if you say, no, man, this is going to be a piece of cake. This will be easy. then it will be easier. And so the words that you use, the language you use, words are like magic spells. They literally have an effect on your psyche, on how difficult something is. There's also another similar quote: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And so if you say you can't do something, or if you say something's going to be really tough and hard, then it will be. It'll be fucking difficult. If you say this will be easy, I can do this. I got this, man. I got this. It'll be a lot easier. So yeah, you say it can be worth it in the long run. It can be worth it in the short run too. There's another thing you're saying. You're telling yourself it'll only be worth it in the long run. It's not going to be worth it in the short term. Is that true? Honesty and being upfront and being kind and treating women like they're on the same team, bro, you get an immediate payoff within 5 seconds. You get a very short term. Like it's very worth it short term. It's worth it long term as well. But you don't have to wait to the long run. You see, guys, are you really starting to see? And I hope this is obvious. I'm not criticizing any of you on the way that you're speaking, but I'm trying to point out that the language we use, the stories that we tell, the narratives that we tell, literally have an impact on our psyche. And if we say something's a tough decision that won't be worth it in the short term, I'm going to have to wait for it in the long run before I'll see a payoff, you're going to make this a lot harder on yourself. If you want a very obvious like example of how it can be worth it in the short run, go outside right now, today. Go find a cute girl. There's lots of them outside. They exist everywhere. Walk up to her. Hi, I know this is kind of random. I'm really nervous right now, so please be nice to me. But I thought you were really cute and I wanted to say hi. And she'll go, oh my God, thank you. And you say, are you single? If she says, I have a boyfriend, say, I hope you and your boyfriend are really happy together. I hope you guys have a beautiful relationship. That is the definition of treating her like she's on your team, right? Watch her reaction. And you will see, holy fuck, being honest, compassionate, kind, and upfront gets me immediate payoffs. Because a lot of the women that you say that to, where you say, I hope you and your boyfriend or I hope you and your partner are really happy together. I hope you guys have a beautiful relationship. Like 90% of them that you say that to will immediately go like, oh my God, that's really nice of you. Thank you. And they will treat you like you're on the same team. They will be really nice to you. Some of them will even say, that's so nice of you. I hope you go and find a girl, or I hope you go and talk to more women. Please do this more. Some of them will say that to you. And you'll see that there's a very immediate payoff for treating women like they're on the same team. You being kind and compassionate to them and wanting them to win. After all, you're wanting her and her boyfriend to win. If you say, I hope you guys have a happy relationship together, that's you actively wanting her, and I guess him as well, to win. When you start doing that, you see that you get a fucking immediate payoff. You only need to do like 2 or 3 approaches where you're that upfront and honest and nice, and 1 or 2 of those 3 women will give you an incredibly positive, really nice response. And you'll go, oh shit, there's an immediate payoff. So yeah, you're telling stories that are just not true, my brother. And that's what most of us do. Most human beings are full of shit, but we don't even know that we are. We say things, we're just so used to saying things that are not even true, but we speak them into existence. It's going to be a really tough decision. Yeah, it will be now. It's going to be really hard for me to do. Well, it will be now. It won't be worth it until it's the long run. Like, it's not going to be worth it short term. It'll be really difficult and tough short term. Well, yeah, it fucking will be now. And so we speak these things. If we get sick, we're like, it sucks. I hate being sick. Okay, it sucks now because you said it sucks. If somebody dies or something, oh my God, this is awful. I've lost this person. This is awful. Death is terrible. Okay, well, death is terrible now because you said it's terrible. It's going to be fucking awful for you. I lost my job. Oh my God, this is the worst thing that could ever happen. I've lost my job. I can't believe it. Yeah, it's going to suck now because you're saying it fucking sucks. But if you can just take a step back and be a little bit open-minded and realize that everything is just a story and you're in control of the stories that you tell. In other words, if we just learn to shut our fucking mouth and stop commenting on everything and stop judging everything and stop labeling something as good or bad or this sucks or that's awful, this is going to be tough, that won't be worth it in the short term, that's going to be really awful, God, I hate this, oh my God, this is going to be terrible. If we just shut our fucking mouth, and I mean that with love, but if we shut our fucking mouths for half a second, we might find that things are not as difficult as we like to make them out to be. Things are not as much of a challenge as we like to think that they are. And things are a lot more worth it in the immediate short term if we would actually just look for those reasons why something is good. And so there's even a chapter on this in the Play to Win video course. called Everything That Happens to Me Is Good. And I said, if we would just stop labeling everything as bad, or this sucks, or that's awful, or that's terrible, or I hate this, or this is hard, this is tough, this is difficult, if we just shut up, we might be able to find that some of this stuff is a blessing in disguise, and that there is always a silver lining to everything, or we can say that there is. We can tell the story that everything that happens to us is good. If we would just stop labeling it all as bad, we might find that a lot of this stuff is actually pretty beautiful. So there's a link down below to the Play to Win video course, this video course here, literally about how to build a more positive mindset that will help you achieve your goals a lot quicker. And on that same video, Ziva Main, one of the OGs of the channel, he's been around for a little while, says, gonna listen to this in the gym. Yeah, you are, you absolute warrior. Let's finish up with a win from a coaching client who said, I had one talk with Andy some time ago last year, and it really opened my eyes in relation to how I saw myself and women. I've had crazy adventures, more threesomes than I can count. How amazing is that? And since that call, I've had other adventures with other women, super pretty women that in the past I would consider out of my league. What an absolute legend. Like I said, guys, I right now, probably just for a short time, am offering those $200 coaching calls. We get to sit down with me for an hour, 2 hours, as long as we need to talk to cover everything. And those are only for a limited time only. They're offered at a massive discount. Like $200 is insanely cheap compared to like what the actual proper coaching costs. I'll leave a link down below to those, only for a limited amount of time and only one per person. So you can't use these for like ongoing coaching. If you want ongoing access to me, that's what the proper coaching program is for. These are basically just for those of you who don't have a ton of money, or maybe have some money, but you just want to sit down with me, go over some goals, talk through some of your struggles, have me listen to you and give you advice and all of that. I'll leave a link down below to that. We also have the big proper coaching program as well, where you get direct access to me. That right now is 50% off. So it's 50% off the marked price. So if you want that, and we have payment plans for that as well, there's a link down below to that. When you apply, just mention, hey, I want 50% off, or mention this deal, and you will absolutely get that. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there and crush those goals.